Welcome back to the MVP podcast. My name is B-Man. I'm here with Sosa. I'm here with Naeem and T. And unfortunately, the podcast that we're going to cover today is a tribute to the late Kobe Bryant and Gigi Bryant, who sadly passed away a week ago. Exactly a week ago today. Actually, no, a week ago from tomorrow. And there's a lot of people that have been asking me when I would drop the podcast, and surprisingly a lot more than I thought, because people do know how much I, as well as you guys, love basketball. So they've been waiting on it. I told people to just hold out because I wanted, although Naeem, you were like, oh, I want to get the podcast done. I wanted the emotions to settle a little bit so that we can actually just have like a conversation about Kobe, where we talk about how much he's done for the league, what we thought of him, and what our memories were of him. And it's sad. I mean, just before we started, we mentioned how all I've been doing anyway, and I'm assuming most of you done it as well, is literally just Kobe video after Kobe video after Kobe video. I watched highlights after highlights after highlights just to remind myself just how great Kobe Bryant was. And I'm not going to sit here and say like I was a number one Kobe fan. I'm a LeBron guy. I've always been a LeBron guy. But I cannot deny that the amount of respect I had for Kobe is ridiculous, because the guy's done everything. He did it with Shaq. He proved it by doing it without Shaq, because he won 2 rings a few years after that. And it's a sad day. Genuinely, it was a sad day when we found out that he passed away. So, does anyone want to share any memories that they've got? Any memories that really stand out from Kobe's time on Earth?
Do you want to take it, T?
I'll just start with actually going out to LA to watch him play. That's my biggest memory. Like, same as you, I was never the biggest Kobe Bryant fan, but I was respecting him. Everything he did, the fact that was his final season, I went out of my way to go to LA to actually watch him play, because I admired him that much. So actually watching him in the flesh, that's my biggest memory, man. I'll never forget that.
Sosa?
I'm going to show my age a little. And I remember when I was a kid, my brother, he came back from a trip to New York, and he was talking about, I knew about basketball, and I knew about Michael Jordan, and I knew how great he was. When my brother came back from the States, he goes, there's this guy. You need to watch this guy. He's going to be amazing. I was like, who is this guy that's going to be, no one's going to be better than Jordan. He goes, this guy's amazing. I was like, who is he? Kobe. I was like, Kobe? Who's this Kobe guy? And this is like 1999, he was telling me about this guy. And this is when they were going into 2000. I think it was when...
That's the first ring
when they got the first ring. Yeah. And hands up, I didn't know much about basketball back when I was a kid. And it was a case of, I was like, this guy's pretty incredible. And then from that day, from being kids, I remember we shared a room, and constantly we had a bin with a basketball hoop on it. And whenever we threw something, it'd always be Jordan. But then when he came back from America, it switched to Kobe. And that was one of the first memories I have of Kobe. Or at least I remember of Kobe. And that was not even seeing him play. It was just my brother telling me about him. But that's one of the earliest memories I've got.
Yeah, I got into the NBA in the 07-08 season, so the first finals they made after Shaq left, and it's just that guy, man. That guy is what got me into the NBA, because I didn't know much about basketball. To be honest, I didn't really know anything, but just seeing this guy just kill people, man, just assassinate people, just literally just take people, man, and tell them, this is what I'm going to do to you, and they just stand there and laugh, and then 48 minutes later, this guy will drop 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81 on you, and you were like, what? And I watched this guy in the finals, and I was at school, and I used to stay up every single night watching the games, and used to go to school tired, and my dad used to come out from work, and like, what the hell are you doing up? And I'm like, it's the Lakers, it's NBA, it's this, and he's like, turn that stuff off, because he's not into basketball. And I'm like, no, you can't turn it off, there's only 8 minutes left, there's only 9 minutes left. And he'd sit and watch it with me, and he'd be like, "Who's this guy? Who's this guy?" I'd be like, "That's Kobe Bryant." And who's that guy? I was like, "That's Pau Gasol." He's like, "Who's the better one?" Because he's like, "I know who the better one is. I want to know what you think." And I'd say to him, "Obviously, it's Kobe Bryant." He'd be like, "Yeah, this guy's doing moves." And he would ask me, "Is he better than Jordan?" And we'd have chats about it. But even he knew he was. He knew who he was. He just wanted to see if I really knew what I was talking about. Because I was about 12, 13 or something at the time. And ever since then, I used to come and I used to watch it with my Lakers jersey on. Because I was young. You know, you're a kid. And I used to get ready for every game. And then when I found out on Sunday, I think you text me first. I think some guy texted me, but I didn't check it. But you texted in the group. And I just couldn't believe it, man. Honestly, I sat there, like I cried for a bit. I was like laughing because I was like, it's not true. I said, it's fake. It's just hard, innit? Even now, a week later, like, kind of like T was saying before, kind of got over it a little bit because it's been a week, you know, you go back to normal life, but then it's now just talking about it. It doesn't feel real. Honestly, it does not feel real at all. It's like you open that can of worms again.
I think when I tried to explain to people, it was so you had your people that would say like, "Oh, like why you've never met the guy before? Why should he have like an impact on how you're feeling?" But I think what people fail to realize is, personally, and I'm assuming you guys as well, put so much energy into basketball, and I'm such a firm believer, and I say this to everyone that really knows me properly, that basketball is a million times better than football. For American people, we're talking soccer. So it's a million times better. And when you invest so much time into something, when we found out that he passed away, I felt it. And even I was like, so, dude, like why? Like how come I'm feeling it like this? Like, truth is, the reality of the matter is, there's loads of people dying all around the world. Why have I not got the same feeling? But the truth is, we put so much energy into basketball that when something happens in the league, it hits you. It's natural to hit you. We watch basketball every single day. Every single day, maybe highlights or not. I'm watching the NBA. But if I was to give you memory, and it's exactly the same as T's, but I'm gonna ride you through like the entire process of how it went. We went in 2015 going into 2016. So at the end of 2014 New Year's going into 2015, I went to Tokyo. I believe I went to Tokyo. And I told myself, and T can testify, I said, I'm going to LA. I said it a year early. I called it straight away. I'm going to go to LA. I'm going to go to LA. I was like, T, come, we're going to LA. We're going to LA. We're going to watch basketball. We're going to watch Kobe. We're going to watch basketball. Come on, T, come. And then obviously T's that guy. So T was like, okay, cool. So we went. And to the people that I've spoken to about my LA trip, first of all, I love LA. I absolutely love LA. How many times have I said that I want to move to LA? We even said while we were there, we're like, yo, T, I asked him the same question. We were near Venice Beach. I was like, yo, T, would you move here? And he was like, yeah. So I said the same. And that day, Christmas Day, was one of the best days of my life. And I said this numerous times. Why? It's because we woke up. We woke up in the Hilton Hotel. Well, I'm talking, this place was beautiful. We woke up in the Hilton Hotel and we just watched basketball. Watched all the Christmas games. We watched it. And then when it was time, we got up, we got changed, and we walked to the Staples Center. And then we watched Kobe Bryant. And then we watched Chris Paul. We watched Blake Griffin. And for a basketball person, that is like, what? That's like as close to heaven as it'll get, right? And I can remember, like, I had the camera zooming in. I was like, look at Kobe's face. Look at Kobe's face. Like that is like I got to share what arguably is one of the best days of my life at the Staples Center because I watched Kobe. And the truth is, like, Kobe was one of the biggest figures in the NBA, especially when you're talking about hard work. When you're talking about like the essence of pure grit and grind, you're talking Kobe all day long. You know, the funny thing is, and I can't remember what video it was. It was a video like years and years ago. We're talking time back. Someone must have been narrating what Kobe does. And like Kobe would get there before everyone else and he'd have his own training session. And then he'd come back and then he'd train with everyone else. And then everyone leaves, he comes back and he trains again. And when you're talking about, like, from your personal experience, you're like, okay, when, for example, when I'm at school and I'm like really low on energy. The funny thing is, the image of hard work that comes up is always Kobe.
Yeah, so obviously, watching the TNT tribute show that they did on Tuesday because they cancelled the Lakers-Clippers game, that was really hard. Seeing Shaq and Jerry West recall stories, and I think Jerry West said about Kobe picking his own nickname, and no one ever picks their own nickname and it sticks. But he picked his own nickname, and he said to him, "Son, you know that the Mamba gets eaten by the crow." He's like, "Not this Mamba." And that's the belief that he had in himself. And they're all talking about Mamba mentality. It made sense after he finished and after he retired, and people were understanding, and it's just embodies hard work, innit? Like, as you guys have said, hard work, believing in yourself, even when the odds are stacked against you, just never giving up. And you can see what it's done to all the players, man. You can see what it's done to all the fans, what it's done to a country, what it's done to a community, what it's done to people around the world. I mean, I had people on Instagram reaching out to us. One guy who we've been speaking to, he was on BBC Radio, the day after he died on the Monday, and he was talking, shout out Gaz, he was talking about what Kobe meant to him. He's a basketball player himself, he plays in Spain, and he was talking about what Kobe meant to him and growing up, and how he was our Jordan. For all of us growing up, he meant so much to us. Gone but never forgotten.
I think the one thing that I appreciated the most, more than anything, was like a lot of the tributes. Joel Embiid scoring 24 points and no more. Devin Booker, Trae Young, they both, and I think there's numerous more players actually that took exactly 24 shots, and they had the shot clock violation of where people do the 24-second violation in honor of his 24, but also the 8-second violation because he used to wear 8 before. The only player to ever get 2 numbers retired with the same franchise, which is the 8 and 24. But what the reality was, when you're watching the games and stuff, especially that night, they should have really been playing. They should have cancelled those games so quick, because you could see that none of those players were ready to play. No one wanted to be on the court. Several of them didn't even play and just walked off. Kyrie Irving, which probably out of most people, it might have hit him the most because Kobe was his mentor.
Yeah.
Like, to then ask them to go and shut up and dribble. It's not the same, but just shut up and dribble. Like, if someone passed away that was close to me, Lord knows I wouldn't go into work. And I'd expect them to respect that. And I know that there's people that paid for tickets and stuff like that, but there are extenuating circumstances. And I felt like this was an extenuating circumstance. They shouldn't have been playing those games at all.
Yeah. I mean, what hits the most is that, like, it's not just a case of that an NBA player has passed away. It's like, because it doesn't happen like this often. It doesn't happen like we see our legends play the game, get old, they retire, they do their mentoring, they do their coaching, they'll do whatever, they'll grow old. We'll see them get to the later stages in life. We see them grey haired, handing out awards to the new players coming in. We don't see a player pass away, that's that iconic. The fact that we have, and it's not just any player, it's not like it's like Kobe was like one of the biggest stars in the NBA, not just like for basketball, but like the world. Is a global superstar. And there's never been anything like this before, which is what makes it even more impactful.
Yeah.
Like it's got to a point where like there's not a contingency for this. No one can set up for this. No one knows how to respond to this like properly, because there's never been a precedent like this.
If there was any particular moment that I could remember, like from his career, like it's not even his 3P, it's not the 2 rings that he won after that, it's not his 81-point game, it's not his 60-point closer, it's that one day against the Golden State Warriors. I was out in a cafe and I was watching it, and he got an Achilles injury. The sports people will know just how deadly that is. That could end your career. Guy gets injured, should really be stretched off. I've never seen anyone walk off. He walks to the free throw line knowing that he has to make the next 2, and then he walks off the court. And do you know what? I'd like to add to that as well. That year was the year where Kobe went ham, trying to get to the playoffs with arguably one of the worst rosters in the world. And I think maybe that's something that ended up contributing towards the injury, because he was pushing himself way too hard. But that's what he was, man. He was relentless. Okay, Kobe was out there. He's trying to kill you, bro.
That's Mamba mentality.
Kobe's out there. He's just trying to kill you to a point where he just wants to have everyone submit to his will, so that he can just stack up as many rings as he could. Like, there's no one that can tell me anything about his desire to not just be a winner, but just to be the greatest, period. He tried to take on MJ early in his career to try and take the crown away from him. What could you possibly say about Kobe in his career? What could you possibly say?
The greatest thing about Kobe is, I saw this quote, is that Doc Rivers, I think, said it, was that with people who say, he had potential to be X, Y, and Z, and he had the potential, and yeah, he potentially could have been. But with Kobe, you'll never lose that. You'll never ever use that line, he potentially could have. He gave everything, every single night. He never cheated the fans. Like, the best example is the example you just gave. On one leg, the guy goes and drains 2 free throws. And knowing him, they think, he's a competitor. He's probably just faking it. That's what Mark Jackson thought. It brings you to tears, man. It just, because you don't have nobody like that. There's nobody like that left. There's no alpha dogs like that left in the NBA. There's not many people in sports like that nowadays. People are different. LeBron is a different kettle of fish. He's the right guy now to take LA and the Laker Nation and help him through this time. But he's different. He's not Michael Jordan. He's not Kobe Bryant. He's more Magic Johnson. He's more of a facilitating type, and he will help bring that franchise and that fan base together. And they've just got to win the championship now for Kobe and for LA. And even if they don't, the most important thing this year, and I can't believe how, this is bigger than basketball. This is bigger. That city just needs to recover. And like I said, look up at 8-24, and Laker fans are never going to fully recover from this. It's one of those that you can't recover from it. You see, that picture of him and his daughter, that all-star picture, that gets me, man. That hurts the most, seeing that photo, man. Because she had all the potential. He was so proud of what she was going to become. He was trying to file a trademark for Mambasita so she could be...
He did.
Because she had that. She would do the jersey right. She would do the hands on the hips like he would. She would do that. She would have the fadeaway. She would have the, the little shake and bake that he had. The crossover, the stare down. She had it all. She had that, she had just had it all, and too soon.
See.
That's like, just talking about his daughter, man. She could have been the best WNBA player ever. That's what a lot of them said, A lot of them, WNBA players looked at her and go, she could like take over from all of us. She could be the best ever. The stuff that she had, like, for him to pass it on to her, it would have been amazing, man. But it's just so many Kobe stories, man. It's just the stuff, the amount of championships he won. I remember the first finals I watched was the Lakers and Celtics, 2010. It's the first ever finals I watched because all my brothers were watching it, so I just sat and watched it. And funnily enough, I wanted him to lose. Because I was like, that's when I started developing my love for LeBron James. And I knew it was always a LeBron Kobe thing. So I wanted to lose, but I just saw what he did. I was like, that's what made me love LeBron more. Because I was like, someone needs to take this guy down. Because he was too good, man. He was too good, but I admired the guy. I'm just sad that I got to see him towards the end of his career. I didn't see him at the twilight of his career, but like, even what I saw it was amazing, man.
I think there's a story on the Kimmel show, and Kobe was talking about how he got approached, and he was asked are you trying to have another child with Vanessa? Do you hope it's a boy that could carry your torch, like that could potentially come into the NBA and bring back the Mamba mentality thing? And I'm not quoting it like word for word, but it was something along those lines. And then Gigi's daughter, who passed away as well, said, like, a boy. Who? What? No. That's me. Like, I'm the one that's going to carry the torch. And during his entire NBA career, the amount of smiles that you see from him, not many. The guy's just dead serious, just all about winning. Like I told you, this guy's just trying to kill. That's all he's trying to do. This guy's trying to kill you. But then when his career came to an end, and he invested more time in his daughter and his family and everything else, it was the only time where it didn't matter what interview it was or anything. He smiled all the time. Like, his personality came out. And I genuinely believe that is his true character, because even Sixth Man of the Year himself, Lou Williams, said, like, when he used to play for the Lakers, he was like, he saw the nice side of Kobe. And then he was like, I figured you out now. You act all like hard and all tough. You got this demeanor going for you in front of the cameras and on the basketball court. But outside of it, you're a nice guy. But that's where there's this Kobe Bryant and then there's Mamba. Mm-hmm. And the Mamba is reserved for basketball. That is, come to me, I will cut you down quick. But then you've got your Kobe that we saw after his career, that cared about his family, that cared about his daughter, coaching his daughter's basketball team. The guy was just smiling all the time. And that is those are my final memories of him. It's just knowing that he was happy once he quit basketball. He looked happier. And I think that's
what makes it even more sad.
That's what makes it more sad, yeah, because he had so much more to give. But
he always talked about his 20 years, like, he didn't want it just to be about basketball. Mm-hmm. Like, he's like, yo, I've done, like, he was in the NBA longer than he was alive. Like, he played more basketball than he was.
Yeah, he did.
Like that's the facts.
He came in 18.
And so he always talked about, yo, there's my NBA career, but it doesn't just end there. Like, there's a life after NBA. Mm. And it's just a shame that we didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
Or at least we didn't get to see enough of it. Like, we've only seen, 3 years since he retired?
I think before we close off the video, I would like to do a 24-second silence just in his name, as basketball fans, as people that have watched him, and there's no denying that he's had an effect on us purely because of the fact that we love basketball. So, 24 seconds starting now. And that's 24 seconds. So, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we're going to be back again soon. Peace.